this beautiful, like, cute face.
Hello again, it's me, that cute guy at the end of the bar. Don't talk to me though. The only thing I fear more than dying alone is being talked to by anyone that could potentially change that outcome. I've been meaning to do very short, just quick, off-the-cuff, mini film review, bite-sized film review kind of things on this channel since I've been in the quarantines. I'd never got around to it. The last film I watched was Knives Out, so I may as well talk about that. Actually, the last film I watched was National Lampoon's Vacation. The original, not the new one. Actually, I got an assignment in editing class last year, a choice between Knives Out or Parasite for a particular sort of task that I had to do with the script. And I went with Parasite, and as a result, I learned a lot about Parasite and I wanted to watch it. So I ended up watching Parasite and reading its script. And Knives Out I never really touched. And this was early January, February 2020. It was when everyone was sort of kicking off about Parasite and saying how good it was. And they were also saying people saying how good Knives Out was. And I watched Parasite and I couldn't really believe that Knives Out would compare. After having watched Knives Out, I can say that I was overwhelmingly incorrect. Knives Out is a fantastic film. The marketing is probably one of the smartest things about this movie because it ties into how the movie is perceived. Obviously, when you're watching a mystery film, like a murder mystery, a whodunit, you're always trying to guess whodunit. And with Knives Out, the marketing actually played a part in influencing the way you try to guess the mystery, which is absolutely genius, because one of the things that everyone was saying about this film is it's really, really smart. And I think if I'd have watched the film off its own merit, not knowing anything about it, I probably would have more so just thought it was a fun caper, only taking into account the fact that the marketing and all the trailers sold it as a particular kind of film and told you to interpret it and sort of approach it in a particular mindset, and then sort of subverted that in the actual film. That's what made it genius for me. I would say this film as a murder mystery actually utilizes its ensemble cast better than a lot of other murder mysteries, because obviously the best murder mysteries are the ones that have about, the more suspects the better. If you look at something like the recent Murder on the Orient Express, that was fine, but a lot of it is just he gets them in a room and he interviews all the suspects and then they go through the clues. And that's sort of the tried and tested format of murder mysteries. This one, it feels a lot more eventful because there's kind of like three stories going on at once, because it utilizes this huge cast much better. It's not just about here's this huge group of people and how they relate to the murder and the detective. There's other things going on at the same time. People talk about highlights like how it's written, which is definitely very good, and the cinematography, which is also really amazingly done. And for me, those were good, but the highlight was definitely the main cast. Lakeith Stanfield is an underrated actor. He's probably one of my favorite actors going. I recently revisited Uncut Gems, which I also had to sort of analyze for an assignment. He's in that. He's in Get Out. He played L in the Netflix Death Note film, which you would not recognize. He plays the main police detective in this film, and he does a fantastic job. He doesn't feel like he does in Uncut Gems at all, which is the last film I watched him in. He's so versatile, and I don't think he gets enough credit as an actor. I never hear anyone mention him by name. Lakeith Stanfield, which I might be mispronouncing, but if I'm not, I can take the high road and tell you to look it up, fools. Ana de Armas is another name I might be mispronouncing. She's like the protagonist of the film. We follow her through most of it, and her character is the only one that's not sort of a stereotypical archetype that you would expect to be in a position within a murder mystery like this. She's the only one that doesn't feel like is cartoonishly played for the sake of their role. She is the average Joe that we can place ourselves in. And she does an extremely good job at this. She delivers emotion really organically and believably. And I super feel for her character in some of the scenes in this film, just from the way that she performs how she's feeling in them. And the other character who is my absolute favourite is Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, who is the detective. It's been so long since there's been an original detective designed like this for films like this. I mean, sure, you have TV ones. I particularly really enjoy Monk. You've also got people like Jonathan Creek. Not really overtly cartoonish with all these little facets in the way they move and behave in the same way that Sherlock Holmes or Hercule Poirot does. Kenneth Branagh played the latest Poirot and he did a really, really good job of it, but at the same time it wasn't an original detective character, and they just keep bringing back Poirot and Holmes and Miss Marple and that kind of thing. It's been so long since we had this like original detective character made, and he fits perfectly in with that gallery of those kinds of classic detectives. I would absolutely love to see more murder mystery films like this with him in, and it has to be Daniel Craig. I've always stereotyped Daniel Craig as just a sort of another action guy, action schlock, and this film is the one that sort of proves to me that he's got range. He can do different accents. He can slip into a more theatrical and boisterous role than just rugged action guy number 817. He's easily the best part of this film. Even though we don't follow him as you would expect to follow a detective character in a murder mystery, he still like dominates scenes that he's in, and he was a fantastic creation. They did a great job at creating him. I'm so glad he's in the film. I want to see Blanc in more films. He's so good. I just also want to talk about how impressed I was with how little the film talks down to you, because it takes what I would like to call the anti-Naruto method of calling back and flashing back to information. It doesn't have some obnoxious voiceover or flashback to help you recall the information. It's just really cleverly done to the point where you're watching it and your brain goes, oh, it's like that thing that she said, or oh, it's that thing that got shown. It strikes the perfect balance between being a smart mystery, but also kind of just being dumb fun. And I think you can watch it if you're looking for either of those films. You don't have to take it too seriously, but it's also incredibly well thought out. And when you watch back on it a second time, you might notice something that you missed the first time round. And I was not only pleasantly surprised, I was astonishingly surprised. It completely transformed my whole grammar structure. I'm so funny. It's just a great film overall, and if you haven't seen it, you definitely should. I underestimated it when it came out. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't. I'm a ghost. I don't know if I can be asked to do the effects for that, but I will try. Yeah, that's basically just a mini review of Knives Out. I hope you liked it. I'm going to try and do more of these little film reviews. Obviously this one, I didn't have too much to say, or didn't have much insight beyond what anyone else has said, but I'm just using this as a primer to get into making them and not take my videos so seriously, because I feel that's a massive problem I'm trying to get over. I kind of want to make little offshoot videos like this, so let me know if you like them. I tend to think that people only want to watch my videos if they're insanely interesting or are presenting something that they can't find elsewhere on YouTube. You can find a positive review of Knives Out on another person's channel. To be fair, I know that my voice is basically sex on tap. I would like to do more intricate film stuff and game stuff still, and a couple more longer length and more in-depth film and game essays. So look forward to that kind of thing. Thank you very much for listening. The video's going to end now.